Everybody, say that. Okay, I can't tell y'all what we're going to suggest we do is the food will be ready in about another 8 minutes, 10 minutes. So we have some preliminaries to do, and of course then we have some people who are with us going to have to leave. Also, for those of you who may not know, I'm Thomas Walker, and I have to serve as the chairperson of the Edgecombe-Nash political caucus. When we started out, it was black political caucus, and through some times we went through, we thought it best to drop it for a while. But let me just say parenthetically that I noticed the National Black Caucus did not drop their name, so that's something we might want to pray about later on. But thank you so much for you being here. Let me say, we thank God for each of you. We know lunchtime is sometime time already committed. So I'm going to ask that the Reverend Gray come and ask God's blessings upon us and upon this moment of Roy Gray. He is pastor. He's pastor in Williamston, and the name of his church is Cedar Hill Missionary Baptist Church. Thank you so much. Y'all so holy.
Let us look to the Lord. Oh, gracious Father, Lord God Almighty. First of all, Lord, we just want to thank you for the victories all across this country and state and locally. Thank you, Lord, for the opportunity to come and not sit down, but stand up tall. For much work needs to be done. Oh, Heavenly Father, bless the food that we're about to receive for the nourishment of our body. Bless the purpose of this meeting and all the participants. Give them traveling grace, Lord, to those who have other obligations. But Lord, we just want to thank you. And bless this pastor, Lord. Keep him lifted up before you, Lord, and strengthen his body. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Brother Gray. Let me just say this. Okay, Tommy, we're gonna get with you on some things later on, but we need to kind of stay focused right now. Okay. Let me apologize for the short notice. You will find as we move on through today that the Edgecombe-Nash Caucus has been on the battlefield for quite a while, but we won't claim to be tightly organized. If any group is led by the Spirit, we are. The good news is that we've enjoyed success in pulling people together in spite of the lack of organization. As I kick my remarks off, I just want to sort of bring us into focus. I noticed very much the words of Rick Warren, the great evangelist pastor from Southern California. He often talks about how people come from across the world to Southern California to surf. They say have some of the largest waves out there in the world. He said, but one thing he's come to grip with, and it's not, it may not seem so spectacular, but it's something to think about. And he said, only God can create waves. Right. Only God. And if we are surfer, then we better get in a hurry and mount those waves if we're going to catch them. We're experiencing some waves in this country and in this community. Time with fellas to talk about all those. I'm talking about positive ways. May we reflect upon a few of them as we move on today. But I'm thankful that the Lord has allowed me to live long enough to see these waves created. Some have died not having received the promise, but we thank God for that. So what we want to do is, while they're getting ready, I want to have a young man who's not young anymore come and have some remarks. He is one of the players, but as we continue on, we understand that there are a number of people that have brought us to this moment. None of us can claim any total victory. It is a matter of everybody working together. I also want to say parenthetically, we are so thankful for our new state representative that's going to be presented by our current state representative. One of the tremendous waves that has occurred in this area, Pastor Gailliard, and he's going to have to leave area, but I'm going to ask that State Representative Shelly Willingham will come. He is co-chair of the Edgecombe-Nash Caucus, and time we just failed to talk about the ups and downs, the blessings and everything that has occurred since he has come to this earth. Well, you were born here, but you were in Connecticut. A lot of places. All right, Kentucky. And we're so thankful that when he came, he got involved. Let's receive Representative Shelly.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, first of all, I think let me just say this. You will see our new representative and myself, you'll see a striking difference in our presentations of information. I'm not a preacher, and so I probably won't get you riled up, okay? And I won't quote any Bible scripture unless I just have to, something I know. But what I want to do is, as Walker mentioned, the caucus, first thing if you notice the name of it is Edgecombe-Nash. When we first started out, of course, we did have organized Nash County at the time. It was Nash and Edgecombe, we worked together. And I'm looking at George Dickens there, who was part of this group too when we got started. And it's been over 30 years that we've been in existence. And one of the things that part of our motto, of course, is that all politics is local, and we see that in how we do it. But one of the things that we're trying to do, and we're still trying to do, is make sure that things that we do is for the advancement and development of all the folks in Edgecombe-Nash County. And as Reverend Walker mentioned before too, we started out as Edgecombe-Nash Black Caucus because we were trying to make sure that blacks got involved. And during that period, when we first started, we registered thousands of people, thousands. And that's when we were able to, get people elected in the city and in the counties, both Nash and Edgecombe. So we have a history. We have a history. And our big thing is getting people out to vote. And we've coordinated with people all over the state, and they've we're still kind of recognized as one of the premier local caucuses, so keep that in mind. But let me just say this. I just want to give you a quick update. I got to get out of here at quarter after 1 because I'm going to run. We have started meeting to our caucus Democrats today. And this is why this is so important to hear that we start now and stop waiting until election time to start to get organized.
Right.
We should be organized and we should have things going on, and when election day or election time comes, we should hit the ground running. We're not trying to find people, find resources. And so hopefully this will be the beginning of that. And this is what we want to do. Now, in the legislation now, what's so important, and I know you all been hearing about, the supermajorities in the legislature. Well, that is no more, thanks to our new we needed in the House, we needed 4 seats, keep on having, we needed 4 seats to break the supermajority. Well, as of today, we have 9 seats. And probably before it's all over, we'll probably pick up 2 more. So we'll probably have about 11 seats. So what does that mean? Why is it so important? And parenthetically, let me just throw in that the Senate also broke the supermajority of the Senate. They needed 6 seats, and they got exactly 6. What this means is that what happens in the General Assembly, of course, it affects us directly, very quickly. But it also means that we have empowered the governor to be the governor. And he has the authority and also the power to override bills. In the past session, Governor Cooper vetoed 25 bills, and 20 of those were overridden. Now, this won't happen in the new session when we go back in January, because we have the power then to sustain his veto. So what does that mean? It means that the Republican Party, Republican leadership has to negotiate with us Democrats. Right now, they don't need us. They don't have to. They can pass anything they want, and the governor can veto it, and they will write it, and it's law. So that was very important, and so that happened. So we know we're there. But one of the things that you also saw the 2 amendments that passed, those were actually the most important, the 2 amendments that did pass, those were the most important ones that we were concerned about. What that does, by them not passing, it means that the governor still has the authority to appoint judges, those who resign, retire, die, for whatever reason, those vacancies. And plus, the other big thing is that it also pushes back the idea of having this even number of people on the Board of Elections, state board and local elections. So more than likely what will happen, what we're looking at is that we'll go back to the way it was, which meant that whatever party's governor was in, then the local boards would have 2 and 1, two members from the governor's party and 1 from the other party. So that's important. That's very important. The other 4 amendments, those were amendments that passed, they weren't needed. Of course, the voting ID, this is one reason we're going back in on November 27th, this month. We're going back in, they still have that supermajority now until January. So what we suspect, and this is what we're probably going to be meeting on today when I go back up, see what we can do, they will determine, I say they, but I guess we, the General Assembly, determine what those IDs would look like, what they would be. In the old ID laws, they had where they would not accept IDs from private colleges, like St. Paul, Charles. We couldn't use those IDs. That was one of the things that we were against, of course. So we don't know what the criteria is going to be for these IDs. Would have to be something special or what. Now they can pass that, because when we go back, as I said, we're in session, and they still have the supermajority. So that's something that we're still concerned about, and we're going to continue to work to see if we can do anything about that. But it's in the Constitution now, so it says that you will have ID. So we might, hopefully we'll come up with some ID, but we want to make it so it's not so restrictive. That people have problems trying to get an ID that they can use to vote. So that's something that's very real, and so we're going to be working on that. The other thing too is that redistricting. This is something I serve on the redistricting committee, and also serve on the Ethics and Elections Committee of the House Committee also. So it's important that we have this representation and we're able to, have some input. But you all know that Linda Coleman did not win her race, and one of the big reasons is because she was running under the old lines. Now that district has already been declared unconstitutional, but because it was so close to the election, the judge refused to stop. Of course, this refused to stop the election or stop that election. What should happen, should Linda or whoever decides to run again, it will be under new lines, and there's a good possibility we'll be able to pick up a seat in Congress when that happens. So you can see, and I'm on the redistricting committee too. So, but one of the things that we're starting right now, and this is what we should be doing here, is that we're getting ready for 2020. Right. We just had an election 2 days ago, but we're preparing for 2020 right now, because 2020 is going to be another pivotal time, and so we need to be ready, and I know we can. So I just hope that you take this serious, and when you start calling these meetings and get people together, it's important. And if you know people who are thinking about running or getting more involved, they should start now. Wait until a month or two before election time to say, I'm a candidate and I'm running, and all of a sudden you want somebody to go out and support you. It doesn't work that way. And those who ran, who didn't win, I say run again.
Right.
I ran at least 4 times. You got to be determined, you got to be focused, and you got to have patience. But it will pay off. So I say that to you, from experience. And the other thing is that I just want to thank everybody, both from the Edgecombe-Nash side for all the work that you've done. I was out there constantly, and I'm sure, I know that Representative Gailliard was out there too, constantly. And there was a good feeling about seeing people coming out, seeing people working, and everybody worked, everybody contributed. And so we have to continue this kind of cooperation and kind of work. I know working with Sheriff Atkinson, we coordinate some things, and it worked out great. But this is the kind of coordination we got to have, not just in Edgecombe County, but it has to be Edgecombe-Nash. There really shouldn't be any separation between what we do. Right. We don't want to continue, we don't have to duplicate efforts. I know I'm getting into the weeds a little bit here, but we did some stuff together this time, but next time we wanted to be intentional. We don't want it to come as an afterthought. I mean, getting sample ballots printed, putting them together, people at the polls, all these things can be done together. And it will save us resources, and it will save us time. And also create that sense of togetherness, and also that's what's needed.
Right.
But I can assure you, come 2020, and it's going to start, I said it's starting today, but we get closer, 2020, 2019, not about 2019, a lot of things are going to be happening. But one of the things that we're going to have to do, we're going to have to be on the same page. And what I mean by that, and specifically, is that we can't have people running against each other.
Right.
One of the things that we're going to have to be able to do is that we don't have to kill each other. If we got 2 candidates in some kind of way, we're going to work out where we have one candidate.
Right.
That's a recipe for failure. When you have us running 2 and they got 1. And they look for that. So please, let's think about that. But that's one of the things we want to be able to do, to come together as a group and decide, help people decide, who should be the best candidate for us and who we support. And we'll support those that we say we're going to support. So keep that in mind. But this is just the tip of the kinds of things that we're going to be involved in and that we have to do. So we're going to be doing some activities throughout the year. throughout 19 in preparation for 2020. So again, I know that if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them, but I just want to give you some sense of where we are and what has to happen and why we are here. And let me just throw this out as I sit down. You know, I'm talking about 2020, but we got elections in 2019 too.
Right.
You know, we got local elections. And we need to be involved in that because that's where you develop your folks to go to the state and go to Congress.
Right.
So I guess we got some town council members and some city council, mayors, so we need to be involved in that. We got to, because we can't let that go. So I'm involved in somebody's campaign every year. Down in Williamston, we got the mayor, we got the town council now. So we had a write-in school board member. We wrote in, we got that done. We saw an opportunity, an opening. We used that strategy. They didn't know about it. We put it in there, and it happened. So we can do the same thing here, but I'm saying these are the kinds of things that we need to do, in my case, district-wide, which I'm claimed by Rocky Mount, because Rocky Mount is in both counties. So Nash County, Edgecombe-Nash County, I claim all that. That's me. So keep those things in mind and remember, you know, we can do anything, you know, we work together. And I know that we can be successful. And before the year, well, in January sometime, maybe what we'll do is, and maybe we should do before then, but what happens like this, where we can come in and you can talk about the kinds of things you want to see happen at the state legislature. And Representative Gailliard and myself, we can take that and we can try to do what we can to make those things happen. Because you got good ideas. If you got an idea, then you need to let us know what it is. Because we don't know everything about what's going on, and you know, you're just as smart as we are.
Right.
It's just that we'll be at the table, and so we're the only one that can make it happen.
Right.
And I'm gonna tell you one other thing. Then I'm gonna say that.
So you sound like a preacher.
Yeah, I'm good. This is something. This is just to show you how important, you know, being in the legislation is. It's 170 seats. That's 50 over in the Senate, 120 in the House. No matter how you look at it, what this is really an exclusive club. It's 170. Can't get no more in that club. I don't know how much money you got, I don't care where you live. It doesn't matter. If you can't become a member unless you go through that process of being elected. And I'm telling you this story. Way back, seemed like a long time ago, a company here called me and said, at the time I was not elected, but I was active. And so they called me and said, well, we want you to go with us to Raleigh. I said, okay, because at the time, the person who was the speaker was from Edgecombe County. And I knew him real well. So they told me to come to this certain place, and I went, and we put me on the helicopter, and we flew up to Raleigh. Landed on top of the building up there, got off the building, came down, walked, went over to the legislative building. The speaker was sitting in his office, and these people that I went with, they were all millionaires. I mean, they had all kinds of money. I was there because I was black, because I knew the speaker at the time. Well, we went in the office, and these business people, they were real upset, something they wanted to happen. And they thought because they had all this money that they could make it happen. And they told the speaker, you know, he would do this, he would do that. They just went on and on. The speaker just sat there and looked at them. So when they finished, he said, "You finished?" They said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, he leaned over the seat and said, let me tell you one thing." He said, "I just want to say one thing to you guys. You might have money, you might even have influence somewhere else." He said, "But there's one thing you don't have up here." He said, "That's the vote." And he was sure what he was saying, that I don't know what you got, I'm the only one that can cast that vote and make anything happen. So this is what, the same thing with us. All the folks in Nash County and Edgecombe, whatever, if they want anything out of Raleigh, it has to come through us. some kind of way. We don't do anything in Raleigh, in an area, unless we check with those local representatives. I mean, that's just traditional. I don't care what it is. Even though there are Republicans up there, they'll say, Representative Willingham, people down in Edgecombe is asking, what do you think about this? They're going to come to me. I don't care if the Bond Hills or whoever call up and say, they still don't come to me. They're going to say, well, you need to check with him to see if that's something that he can support. Anything local, we all have to, the local representative has to agree to it. I mean, that's tradition. There's no law, but it's tradition. That's the way we do it up there. So it's important that we're here and that we have another representative. And on that note, let me just say, I call up my compadre now and Representative-elect.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Allow me, I'm going to have just very brief remarks, but I do want to, first of all, acknowledge the leadership, Nash Edgecombe County Political Caucus, the person of Pastor Walker. I also want to acknowledge Joyce Dickens. We've had, I wouldn't go so far as to say many conversations, but we've had enough conversations sitting in her office that I think she's very clear around my great respect for her work in our community that has been really significant. I appreciate you, Joyce, I really do. And so I just want to say a few things. The first thing I want to say is a word of thanks. You know, as running for office, I recognize that, you know, we as those who are on the ballot, we wind up with our names on, our faces on billboards and our names on yard signs. But the reality of it is, it's the folk that are grinding it out in the street corners, the people that are having conversations at kitchen tables, the people that are working polls, the people that are volunteering. I literally had people during early voting who stayed at the poll the entire 12, 13 hours, packed their own lunches, camped out, literally camped out so that they might engage people in the voting process. And so I want to be very clear with you that I recognize it was not me getting me to Raleigh, but it's because of you that I'm going to Raleigh, and because of that I'm very, very thankful and very appreciative. The second thing I want to say is not just a word of acknowledgement and thanks to all of you, but secondly, I want to pledge, and I don't know, I've not been in this long enough to learn how to be politically correct, so I'll just be me. I want to pledge my support as the representative that's representing Nash County. I want to pledge my support to the agenda and the work of Shelly Willingham and the work that's going to go on in Edgecombe County. Because too long we have had a divided Rocky Mountain. And the reality of it is we have to work together on behalf of those that live within the city limits and those that are within the counties. Sheriff Clee Atkinson is here. He's the sheriff of Edgecombe County. My church is located in Nash County. But we still have a mutual investment in the people that live in this community. And so I want to pledge my support of passing legislation that's going to be in the benefit of everyone in Rocky Mount, people in Nash County, and people in Edgecombe County. That's the second statement I want to make. The third statement I want to make is around how important it is for us to really engage in the process. If we become too comfortable now, we are in trouble, as Representative Willingham has said in 2020. I already have a team of people crunching the numbers to figure out who didn't vote, why didn't they vote, what precincts voted, what precincts didn't vote. I want to share something with you. Gerrymandering and political discrimination is real as we sit in this room eating lunch today. South Rocky Mount is the largest predominantly African-American precinct in House District 25. The voting location of South Rocky Mount was supposed to be moved back from St. Paul United Methodist Church to the South Rocky Mount Community Center. Because of an effort by Republicans to suppress the African-American vote, that movement did not happen. Not only did it not happen, but the race that I ran in had 19 precincts. Of those 19 precincts, 18 of those precincts reported in quickly. We had one precinct that had a problem with the voting machine. It was one precinct whose voting machines were unplugged prematurely. Guess what precinct it was? South Rocky Mount, the largest predominantly African-American precinct in Nash County. And if you don't think it's real, check the Senate race in our state. There's been somewhere around 3.5 million votes cast for senators in our state. Of those 3.5 million votes cast, listen to this, Democrats outvoted Republicans by 35,000 votes. Did you catch the numbers? 3.5 million votes cast. Democrats outvoted Republicans by 35,000 votes, yet Republicans won 29 of those Senate seats to Democrats' 21 seats. So we live in a state where we can outvote another party by 35,000 and still lose the majority of one of our branches of the state. So gerrymandering is real. And I'm grateful that we have someone like Representative Willingham sitting on that committee that can help us navigate that and help us remove that discrimination. Which leads me to the last comment that I want to make, which is why I ran for public office. Most people were very surprised because, as you know, I pastor a pretty large church here. I ran for public office because I have yet to preach a sermon good enough to help 12,000 people have health insurance in Nash County that doesn't have it. I have yet to preach a sermon good enough to deal with the incarceration rates of low-wealth African-American males. I have yet to preach a sermon good enough to deal with the 1/3 substandard housing in Nash County. We have to recognize that we must take people to bear on these issues. And so I'm going to Raleigh to do what I've done in Rocky Mount for the last 13 years, which is to serve the community. I've tried to serve through my congregation in our pulpit, and now I'm going to do my best to go serve people in Raleigh and on behalf of everyone in our state. And so I want to officially announce to you that although I have yet to be sworn in, which that will happen in January, I want to announce to you that with my brief presentation to you, I am officially launching my re-election campaign for 2020. So not only do I plan on getting sworn in next year, but I want to be re-elected in future years. And so thank you so much for all of the work you do, the great work you do. I believe we have tremendous potential within our community if we leverage our resources, if we work together, if we identify people that are not voting and are demotivated and create motivation. I will conclude with this thought. We can allow things that frustrate us to demotivate us to the point of doing nothing. Or we can allow the things that frustrate us to motivate us to change those things that frustrate us. And so I would ask you to join with me, Representative Willingham, many other people that have been elected to public office. Let's work together to identify the things that frustrate us and let them become motivating factors so that we can move our community forward in Nash and Edgecombe counties. Thank you again for allowing me to be here, and thank you again, Dr. Walker, for all of your work.
Thank you so very much. We want to thank both our representatives and let you know that we're looking forward to working with you, and not just working with you, but looking to you for the leadership that you just alluded to. As you said, we've sort of gotten along on Meet Affair. We are very proud of what God has done. You'll be able to see it as we move on, even through this meeting. But the end result, we all can celebrate. And now we have two strong representatives on the state in the state house. Let's give Governor. On behalf of the Caucus, we're able to present this very fine meal. I want to thank the cooks first of all, and we're gonna add to this. We recognize cook. Deacon Felton Dickens, is he here? Okay, he's outside cook, and also Deacon Bond, Greg Bond. They ran the grills for us, and of course in the kitchen we're gonna have the kitchen committee step out. We need to give y'all a hand right quick. And while they're coming, I want to thank our staff. Okay, Lena, this is Lena Alves and all her committee. Let's give them a hand for their and so we're going to take our staff here at Ebenezer, all our staff here, please stand, if you will, and those who are involved with the caucus, please stand. Those of you know who you are. And obviously, we start thinking you're going to get everybody. It's time to eat now. We're going to, after we finish eating, we have some more people we want you to hear from. The reason why we're going to cut into this now, because we've got to let our representative go, because it's got to go to Raleigh. We're going to, I guess, in terms of the order of serving, we're going to ask okay.
Reverend, I'd like to ask for just one moment of privilege. I know you said you're ready for everyone to eat.
Yes.
You said the representative needed to go.
Yes.
I just want one moment of privilege. George Dickens, will you please stand? Will you please stand? Before they go, I want everybody in this room to know none of what you see in Edgecombe County would have happened when it did if it hadn't been for this lady right here.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so very much.
I just want to say teamwork. It was teamwork.
Teamwork. Teamwork makes dream work. All right. We thank you so very much, Brother Higgs. And of course, as we look at, right now, we need to look at some chicken and string beans and other things. So it's time to go forward. But I echo what Reverend Higgs has said. Look, we would love for those of you who have to go to at least be able to share in this meal with your leaders and the table, and then we'll just follow suit. Okay? All right. So this table will lead, and I'm sure the meal is great, it's hot. You're not able to eat it now. We have at least one person. I'm going to tell you,
Thank you very
one
much.
person that don't eat chicken, that's jelly. What's jelly? You don't eat chicken. All right. They're going to be and then all the papers there on this side, is the paper in the center here, right down to the next one. Let's do this. Enjoy yourself. Thank you. Great, already